Hey guys, Akhtar Khan here from Reaching Excellence, and in this video I'm going to share with you why your network is your net worth and how specifically that relates to buying businesses and how it can help you to go forward. So what I'm going to do and what you're going to learn in this video is how to network like a pro. So I'm going to break it down step by step and give you the exact process that I've done myself and I've figured out over the years that I've been an entrepreneur. Also what I teach my students, so they've been able to go out and network like a pro, but I'm going to share it with you so you can do that too, okay? So I want you to stay through to the very, very end, and you probably want to take some notes. So you might want to grab a pen and paper at some point. Now, if this is the first time you've come to my channel, you might be thinking, well, who am I and what qualifies me to teach you this stuff? Well, look, I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. I spent 20 years in real estate and property. I built a multi-million-pound property portfolio that allowed me to retire at the age of 37. I'm also the author of The Code of Reaching Excellence and the founder of the Reaching Excellence Wealth Academy, where I teach people just like you to build wealth and live the dream. And I also, for the last 3 years, have been building a portfolio of M&A businesses, which are property related with my business partner, Elliot. So it's my mission to be able to help every man, every woman to be able to build wealth, live the dream and live their dream life, okay? Now you're probably wondering, if you've been to my channel before, you're probably wondering, where am I? Because this is a little bit different. Well, I'm actually in Monaco today, and I'm on board a 70-foot yacht. So we might get some noises, and you might be able to see or notice that we're swaying from time to time. So hopefully it won't distract you guys too much, okay? Now look, why am I shooting this particular video? Well, look, let me tell you something now, okay? Through bitter experience, I never understood and fully appreciated the power of networking. And also I've had lots of questions recently around people who want to grow their businesses. Well, how do I do it? What do I do? Where do I find certain kind of people? So let me just share a little bit about my real awakening when it came to networking. So when I was first involved in property was quite a lonely place. There wasn't really groups of people that you could go to. There wasn't really lots of people that I knew about it. But it was only when I joined a mastermind that it got me around the right kind of people. And that just lifted the lid off my head. And I was like, wow, there's other people in this particular peer group that were doing things that were successful, that had connections, that could connect me and introduce me to the right people who could do the things I wanted to do. When I was trying to do property, first off, I was met with a lot of resistance. There was lots of people saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. When I got around the right people, they found the can-do types of people. And what I mean is people like solicitors, mortgage brokers, or people who are financiers. You know, they're proactive people who had that can-do attitude. And that's what I was looking for. And this is one of the things that's going to really benefit you when it comes to you building your network. You want to be around the right kind of people. You want to be around the right kind of people who can help you to elevate and take things to that next level, okay? So guys, let's talk about this in a little bit more detail, okay? So one of the things, I've just put some content out for my private members in the Wealth Academy. And one of the things I think is really important to understand, especially where we are right now. We've come out of the pandemic, we've come back to some form of normality. And I've seen it both personally, and I've seen this with a lot of people. I think there's a time now where people are starting to come up, blow up and blow up. And what does that mean? It means it's time to like come out of the lockdown and almost like explode, if that makes sense. It's like go out there, build your wealth, live your best life. Because the last couple of years with the pandemic and everything else, it's been a really difficult time for people. We've been locked down, we've been stifled. There's been lots of uncertainty. It's been a very stressful, dark time for a lot of people. But now we're kind of free of that. It's time to get out there and really come up, glow up and blow up. And what do I mean by that? It means raising your game. It really means raising your game and playing at a bigger level. It means not allowing things to stop you. And this is one of the attitudes and the mindsets of a top tier 1% entrepreneur. I get a lot of people ask me, Axel, you mentioned in your videos about being a top tier 1% entrepreneur and it's something you do in your academy. What exactly does that mean? Well, here's what it means, okay? A top tier entrepreneur, a top tier 1% entrepreneur has a different mindset. It's a different attitude. It's not really a skill set. It's a mindset. And they have this attitude that they're going to succeed no matter what. It's like a hell or high water attitude that they're going to succeed, do what it takes. But the difference is this: they want to do it in a smarter way. They don't want to be hustling, grinding, spinning their wheels, working 12, 18-hour days, getting burnt out. Because the problem with that is it's going to lead you to burnout. It's going to lead you to unhappiness. It's going to lead you to a load of stress. But also it's going to rob you of your time. So 1% entrepreneurs they have this hell or high water attitude about getting things done and raising their game and going to that next level, but doing it in the smartest, easiest way possible. And this is one of the things that's important, because once you've got the right network of people around you, those people can open doors for you. Those people can help you grow your business. Those people can become business partners. And we're going to go into that in a bit more detail as we go along, okay? So this is why it's really important. I believe right now it's a time to come up, glow up, and blow up in whatever you're doing. Okay, whether it's your business, whether you're investing, whatever you do, it's the right time now. And I'm seeing this across the board. Lots of people are ready for this kind of big expansion, big kind of ascension, big kind of level up. Okay, so let's go into the content of this, and I'll dive in now. So, what is networking? Okay, really, what is it? Well, really, it's socializing on a business level. It's going out, meeting people, connecting with people, and forming good quality relationships with people that you can work with, you can get to know. In fact, you can form friendships with. It doesn't have to be strictly business. That's what it's about. It's expanding your network so that you've got people around you that you can pick up the phone to who will be able to help you or help you overcome a challenge or take things to that next level. Okay. There's a saying, like someone asked me the other day, well, what's the purpose of networking? Okay. When I said to them, look, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and it's who you know that can open doors for you. Now, one of the things I mentioned earlier on, when I got into property and I started to expand my network through going on a mastermind, it blew my head off because all of a sudden I was talking to people and said, look, I don't know how to do this, or I've got a challenge here. And they said, oh, it's okay, go speak to this person, they can take care of it. And then all of a sudden it's just opened this door. That's the kind of thing that will happen. Or I said, look, I don't know where to go and speak to get someone who can help me to fund this particular deal, or the right mortgage broker. They said, go speak to that person. I don't know where to find a builder or a tradesman, go find this person. That's the kind of thing you'll do. Those people will help you, because one of the things that's important, I'm going to touch on this as we go forwards, is being around the right kind of peer group. So in essence, what networking is socializing on a business level. And the purpose is to get to know the right kind of people that can help you to move forward. Okay. So the next question I sometimes get people is like, well, who do I network with? What do I do when I go out and network? Well, literally what you're looking to do is there's several categories of people. Now, I touched on it. The first benefit for me when I went out and started networking was to get a great power team around me. So sometimes when I reference things in these videos, I might talk about property and real estate because obviously that's where I came from. But the same things apply to buying businesses and M&A. If you're going to be going out and buying businesses, there's only so much you can do in terms of due diligence, checking the business out, making sure it's right. You have to have a power team behind you that can help you to make the final decisions on those deals. So it's important that you find the right kind of lawyers to help you structure the deals. It's important that you find the right kind of accountants that can help you to analyze the numbers properly. It's important that you find the right kind of finance people or commercial brokers to help you to finance and fund the deal, or at least know what the potential is later on down the line before you've even done the deal. So you need to have those people around you that you can go and counsel with, that can give you wise advice as you are doing your deals and progressing. Okay, this is super important. Because at the end of the day, even though I know what I'm doing with businesses, I have a general experience. Like, I'm a generalist. I know enough to be able to put the deal together, but I then have to go to my power team and say, can you check this off and sign this off? Is this okay? Is there anything I've missed here? Is there anything that you know? Because they've got that detailed depth of knowledge. This is one of the things that you want to be doing. You want to be forming that power team around you of the right kind of people, because that power team is going to help you to level up and ascend and also accelerate your results in whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's property, whether it's buying businesses or something else. So it's super, super important that you can find that right kind of power team. The other people that you might kind of need when you are buying businesses, you might need HR consultants that can help you with the aspects of HR, because that's quite a complicated field. You might want someone who's an insolvency practitioner if you've got a business that's distressed. So you need to make sure when you are out networking, you are looking for the kind of people that can help you. Okay. So the first thing then is like having that power team. So you're looking for a power team that you can build around you. Let me tell you something like that's been really important for me. Having the right power team and right kind of people, especially lawyers, when it came to either doing property deals or M&A transactions. Okay, I've had lawyers that said to me, you can't do this, or we can't, it's not possible. What they're really saying is they can't do it. And that will scupper a deal, that will stop a deal from going forwards. I've also, on the other hand, met with lawyers that says, yeah, we can do it. You can't do it that way, but we can do it this way. You're looking for can-do, proactive people, okay? That's really important. And it's when I met one of my lawyers, this was a real estate lawyer about 10, 12 years ago, he was able to do the things I wanted to do because some of the things in the way I was structuring deals was out of the box. So the traditional vanilla solicitors were like, oh, you can't do it. What it really meant is they couldn't do it and they didn't know how to do it. But there are other people out there that will know how to do it, or at least have the innovative mindset or the creative mindset to say, well, here's how we can do it. When you've got people like that, that's when you're going to be able to accelerate and go ahead and do things a lot quicker, especially when it comes to the legal side of things with lawyers. So you want to find those kind of people and develop a really good power team around you. The only way you're going to do that is by finding other people who've got a power team, if they're willing to share and make those introductions to you, then that's how you're going to get it. People who come into my academy, like my students, of course, they get access to my power team, and my power team look after them, because that's a big sticking point for a lot of people, okay? The next thing you want to be doing is thinking about a peer group. This is super, super important. I cannot stress this enough, okay? If you guys know my story, some of you probably know that I got kicked out of school when I was 15. It was a long, complicated, messy story. Grew up in a very dysfunctional family. I went off the rails as a kid because I couldn't handle what was going on at home. Parents went through a very messy, bitter custody battle and divorce. I got kicked out of school. Now, the problem with that is 1 minute I was at school in grammar school, was doing pretty well. Next minute, I was out of school and I was hanging around with the dropouts. So what I realized from an early age was that the peer group that you're with, the people you associate yourself with, you will become, okay? So there is some psychology behind this, and I'm going to talk to you on this on a couple of points, okay? The psychology is this. When you're in a peer group, this comes from evolutionary psychology. When you're in a peer group, okay, that peer group, that group or that tribe depends on its members for survival. So what happens is if one person tries to leave the group, the other people will unconsciously try and drag them back in. You don't want to do property, you don't want to buy businesses, you don't want to do all that stuff. It's because the survival of the group is dependent on its members, okay? This is a very deeply unconscious thing that people don't realize. So, of course, when I was a kid and I was hanging around with the dropouts and I realized that was actually really bad for me and I tried to leave the group, hey, why do you want to do that for? You're so boring, you don't come out partying anymore, and oh, that's a risky thing to do. They will talk you out of it, and it's not an intentional thing. And if you don't understand the psychology behind this, you'll be dragged back. The reason it's called crab mentality is if you put a load of crabs in a bucket and one tries to escape, the other crabs keep pulling it back. And if it keeps trying to escape, they'll keep pulling it back and eventually break its claws, so it can't escape. I don't know why it happens, it's just a phenomenon, but this is the thing, people can be like this as well. Now, sometimes people will say things, it could be, the peer group, it could be your family members. If they don't understand what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve, it will create fear and doubt in their mind, and they will start to question you. Why do you want to buy businesses for? Why do you want to buy real estate for? Why don't you just get a job? That sounds risky to me. And what they're actually doing is projecting their fears and their beliefs onto you. Now, if people start questioning you enough, you're going to start to get the seed of doubt in your mind. Oh, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And that will hamper stuff. So it's so important that you get yourself around the right kind of people, okay? Now, there's a saying in business, okay? You become the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So you need to really be careful around who you spend time with. Like me as a kid, when I was hanging around with the dropouts, that's what I became. As soon as I left that peer group and I was with another peer group of people who were ascending and wanting to progress themselves, then I ascended. Because what happens is, through osmosis, when you're around a group of people, okay, whatever that standard is, that group of people is, to be able to fit into that group, you're going to have to raise your standards. That's something that's really important, okay? So equally, if you're in a group of people where the standards are a little bit lower, you might end up dropping your standards to fit in, okay? It's a deep human survival instinct to belong, to fit into a group or tribe, okay? Now, this would have worked for us like hundreds of thousands of years ago because our survival would have depended on being part of a group, part of a tribe. If we were in small kind of Stone Age villages and settlements, if you got kicked out of the tribe, then you'd probably die, because you need that tribe to survive. That doesn't happen in this day and age, but the problem is those instincts that are within us they haven't updated. You can't do like a Windows or an operating system update on that belief system. So we need to understand that. So this is why it's really important that you make sure that you spend your time around the right kind of people, okay? And the reason for this is because what will happen is when you're around that right group or that right peer of people, whether it's a mastermind, whether it's like My Academy, or whether you join some kind of association or networking event, what's going to happen is through osmosis, you're going to adopt the beliefs and the attitudes of those people in order to fit in. That's just what happens, okay? So you need to understand that. So in essence, what you need to do really is find a peer group where you're not the smartest person in the room or the richest person in the room. In fact, you want to be the dumbest person in the room and the poorest person in the room, because what that will do is it will force you to go, hang on a second, this is uncomfortable, but in order for me to fit in with this peer group, I'm going to have to start doing things differently. And you'll start to learn what strategies they're doing, how they're doing business, where they're going, where they're traveling, what kind of things they do in order for you to fit into that peer group. So there is a process, and this is something I've gone through several times in my life as an entrepreneur. You might start at this peer group and you might move to this peer group, and all of a sudden you'll outgrow that one and move to the next one and next one and next one and next one. It's partly why I'm here in Monaco today, okay? So guys, it's really, really important that you understand that, okay? Because this is the psychology behind it, and this is why a lot of people sometimes feel uncomfortable when they go out networking, because depending on where you're at, sometimes one of the things, this is a social situation. So one of the things that can happen is people become a little bit sensitive to rejection, and it can be socially awkward and so forth. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to overcome that stuff in a second, okay? So guys, what else do you want to do when you go out and you're networking? Like, who do you want to network with? Well, you want to look for investors. You want to look for people who are investors, and these are either people who will invest directly into your business, or they might invest in terms of buying shares. They also might invest in you as a person. Now, one of the things I can say, which has been a great benefit to me, is as I've gone out and I've networked, I have met people that I've formed really good connections with. In fact, there's one person that comes to mind. He was like a brother to me. We ended up having this really brotherly close relationship because we were very, very much aligned. And he gave me some really valuable mentoring and insight that allowed me to kind of grow and accelerate my results in property. And that's because of the friendship and the relationship we had. It was a mutually beneficial relationship. So, you'll have people that will invest either money into you, money into buying shares off of you and investing into your company. But there'll be people out there that will actually invest into you as a person. I'm going to give you some examples about how that's been done for me, and also how I've done that with some of my team members, okay? So guys, the other thing that you want to be looking for is not just people that invest with you, but if you're going to go out and you're going to build a portfolio of companies, you want to look for people who are more experienced than you that could perhaps come on a board, and be part of your board of directors. Now, when I'm out looking at people and like meeting people, one of the things I'm doing is I'm looking for who can come and work with me in many different ways. So I'm looking for people who can be investors. I'm looking for people who could be talent. I'm looking for people who could come on the board and be board of directors, and also people who can take the group of companies to that next level. So this is the kind of stuff that you want to be doing. And I guess this leads me to another really important point, which is when it comes to going out and networking, you need to have some sort of intention in mind, some sort of reason as to why you're going. So the thing is this: when you're clear about why you're networking, what you're looking for, it's going to make that whole process a lot easier, okay? One last thing I want to kind of say on this point is this: look for talent. Look for people that are perhaps good at something that you're not. Maybe you got someone who's a really good, you're looking for someone who could do things from an operational point of view. Maybe you're looking for someone who's good with people. That could be a manager. Maybe it's tech and so forth, okay? Because one of the things is this: when you are starting out in buying businesses, or when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, a lot of the time we start out as a solopreneur, which means we're doing everything by ourselves. The problem with that is you're going to get to a point where there's only so much you can do and you can't grow and scale. You will need to have other people come and join your team. When you do that, park your ego, look for people that are better than you, that can do things that are way better than what you can, okay? Just know what your strengths and weaknesses are. I'm very clear on what my strengths are. I'm also very clear on what my weaknesses are, and I get my team and other people around me to do the things that I'm not good at. There's no point trying to build your weaknesses. It's just going to make you weaker. Focus on your strengths and build your strengths, and get other people to plug those gaps in for you. So this is another reason why you want to network. So, just to give you an example, I've got a couple of people that are working with me right now. They're in my team. They're people I've known for a couple of years, but when I saw them, I'm like, wow, this guy's got some amazing dynamic qualities. Can I bring him into my company? Can I hone him and coach me a little bit? And that's what I've done. Tasha, one of my team members, we met her a couple of years ago. I just saw a younger version of myself in her, and she's now on board with my team. These guys are great assets to me. So this is one of the things that you want to be thinking about as you go forwards and you start looking to who to network with, okay? Now, I just want to give you an example. One of my students, Caleb, he's over in the US. He came to me because he wanted some help with negotiation and relationship building. Right now, he's actually closing a deal, which is he's in transport and transportation. This is a $20 million turnover business. But one of the key things that has helped him is the negotiation and the relationship building side of stuff from 2 points of view. One is from the perspective of actually going out and closing the deal, and the other is from the point of view of putting his board together, and this is what he's doing. So again, this is something and another reason why you want to go network, okay? So let's talk about how to go network, okay? Because this is a challenge. This is a challenge that sometimes people have, and I'm chuckling to myself because I know what it's like. When you go out and network, it's like, sometimes it's like, who do I talk to? Why am I talking to them? It's a little bit socially awkward at some points. When you are really clear on what your intention is, then it makes it easier for you to go out and network. Now, I get it. Not everyone's going to be sociable. Not everyone's going to have those people skills, but it's something you need to develop, okay? So here's the first thing I'm going to suggest. Whenever you go to network, have an intention in mind. Why am I out here networking? Why have I given up my time? Why have I traveled to go to where I've gone to? Why am I here? And if you've got that at the forefront of your mind, that's going to give you laser-like focus to overcome any internal resistance you have, or any beliefs that you've got, or anything that's making it uncomfortable for you, okay? So if you're there with an intention, I'm here to meet people, I'm here to meet clients, I'm here to meet investors, I'm here to meet people who can make the right connections for me, that's the kind of thing that you're looking for. When you've got that intention in mind, it gives you laser-like focus. And when you're in a room or you're around a load of people, that's going to help you to decipher and determine if those people are going to be a good fit for you or not, okay? So this is really important, okay? So have an intention in mind. The second thing is this, okay? Just be yourself, okay? It doesn't matter that it's a business context. Be yourself. And what I mean by this is don't put up a front, don't put up a mask, don't try to pretend to be anything you are not, because people will see through the BS. You're better off just being honest and genuine, because that's what's going to create a genuine connection with people, okay? People need to get to know you, like you, and trust you. And the only way they're going to do that is if you're authentic. So if you're just starting out and you're doing things, just tell people you're just starting out. Don't try to be something you're not, or pretend you're something you're not, or make yourself look like you're further ahead, because people will soon figure that out. You're better off just being genuine. And also, if you're just starting out, there's lots of people who will go, okay, yeah, I remember when I started out, and they'll be willing to help you. The key thing here is people need to get to know you, like you, and trust you, okay? So just be yourself. Just completely be yourself. And remember, sometimes people say to me, well, it's a little bit awkward for me, like, to go out and talk to people. I don't really like it. I feel uncomfortable and so forth. Well, look, if you're out there and you're just being yourself, then there's nothing to be awkward about, because, you're not pretending to be anything. You're not going to get imposter syndrome, okay? You're not going to, get uncomfortable if you're genuine and authentic. And you've got to remember something. A lot of times people can be afraid of rejection. There really isn't rejection, okay? One of the things that I think you want to do is reframe this. And I've mentioned this in my previous videos. Rejection is really redirection. If you don't click with someone, or there's no connection, just say thank you very much for your time, and it's just going to redirect you to the next person. And that's the attitude that you've got to have, okay? So we kind of got to get over ourselves with this need for acceptance, okay? Because, again, this comes from those deep survival instincts that I mentioned earlier on. We want to feel accepted. We want to feel like we belong. Well, okay, not everyone is, and we just have to accept that's a part of life. Some people will, some people won't. If you connect with the right kind of person, you form a really deep bond, connection, and relationship with them. And that's way more important than trying to be liked by a group of people. If you have those connections with people that you form a deeper connection, a deeper rapport with, a deeper bond, that's what's going to get you there. In essence, guys, when you're out networking, yes, you want to make those connections, but you want to do it as friendly as possible. You want to form those relationships into, yes, their business, but you want to take it to that next level where there's a deeper level of rapport, where you can turn those into friendships. And I've got some great friends that I've met through business, through networking, and we don't just do business stuff together. We go out, we socialize, we hang out, we just enjoy life, because these are people who are part of my peer group and are on the same level, okay? So the next thing I want to give you, this is another tip, okay? Instead of going there and asking for something, give value first. So what do I mean by that? Like, when you're talking to someone, meet someone, yes, you can say, here's what I'm doing, this is what I'm looking for, me. That's great, you could do that, but there's a time to do it. When you're out there talking to people, ask them what they do, what they're looking for, how can I help you, and is there anything I could do to connect with you? You're giving value first, okay? So give value first, okay? Nurture those relationships, okay? One of the things I think you want to be doing is looking at this whole kind of networking thing as, yes, it's a social game. It's what I mean by social game is it's a social relationship building exercise, okay? It's almost similar to dating, but in a non-romantic context. If you're going to go out and date people, you're going to get to know them, build a relationship and connection, okay? And it's going to go to somewhere fruitful. Obviously, this is a different context. This is about you going out, meeting people, giving value, and then obviously having some kind of friendship or business relationship with them. So you need to understand that's the intention. So it's really important that you give value first, okay? And serve people as much as you can before you ask for something. So give as much as you can. Find out what people do, then at some point down the line, they will want to naturally reciprocate, and they want to give you back. They'll come back and say, look, Akhtar, listen, great, you give me a lot of value and stuff here. How can I help you? What is it you're wanting? What is it you want to do? And you can say, hey, look, this is where I'm at right now in my business. I'm looking to do this. If you know anyone or you can point me in the right direction, that would be great. Okay. So give value first. The next tip I want to give you is this, okay, where to go network. I know this is becoming a deep dive, guys, but I want to go into this in a little bit more detail, because I want you to know where to go network, okay? So sometimes people say to me, where should I go network? Where do I look for? And here's my answer: everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Now, I network, what do I mean by everywhere? So sometimes when I'm out and about, I'm very sociable. I will talk to people everywhere and anywhere. I mean, I'm on this boat at the moment, and when I step on and off it, people are looking and like, hey, how are you? And they're starting to have these conversations. People here in Monaco are very, very friendly. So when you start that conversation with people, it's like, hey, how are you? How are you doing? I just start up a conversation with anyone and everyone. And this is a skill set that you can learn. It's very simple. And one of the things that you do is just say hello or good morning to anyone that you pass in the street, because you never know who someone is, what they're doing, what they're about, how well connected they are. So you want to network everywhere. So when we got on the plane here, I started talking to a couple of ladies. We didn't have masks. They gave us some masks. And when we landed in Nice, they asked us what we did, asked them what they did, exchanged business cards, that kind of thing. That's what you want to be doing. So you want to be talking to everyone and anyone, anywhere where it's appropriate. So you have that conversation. Hi, how are you? Ask someone what do they do? What do they do? They ask you what they do, and all of a sudden you've got this conversation that leads down a business path if that's where you want it to go. Okay. So obviously there's other places like networking events. There is social settings, parties, gatherings, that kind of stuff. This is where you can go network. So in property and real estate, there's lots of networking events all around the country. There's business events everywhere that you can go to. There's sometimes specific networking events for people in places. So for example, one of the reasons I'm here in Monaco is because I was invited to a specific networking event for ultra high net worth individuals. You've got places like private members clubs in London. You've got networking events in Mayfair. You've got like some higher end networking events that you can go and find online. So just search for networking events and find one that's going to be fitting for you, okay? As I mentioned, social events, like, sometimes you go out, you meet friends, family, kids' birthday parties was a great one for me. End up talking to some of the other dads. What do you do? Oh, I've got this business, I've got that business. Oh, let's exchange numbers. There's always a place to network. It doesn't have to be such an official place like a networking event. You're socializing. So you're just socializing on a business level, okay? The other thing you could do is you could go on LinkedIn. You could start networking with people on there. You could start contacting and approaching people. And again, give value first, okay? The key thing I want to give you here is this: really, the key to networking is developing your social skills. So it's really important that you practice this so that it doesn't become awkward. So one of the things I give as an exercise to my students is to go out, network, and actually just start having conversations with people with no outcome in mind. Just say good morning or hello to everyone and anyone, throughout the course of the day. So the exercise I set them is go out and say hello or good morning or greet 10 people, have an interaction with them and give them some value, whether it's a compliment, whether it's a pleasant interaction, or whether it's a bit of advice if they want it, give that. And once you start getting to that habit of doing that, it makes socializing or networking even easier because you can network with anyone everywhere, okay? So guys, I'm going to wrap this video up because it's been quite a long, intensive one. Why am I in Monaco now today? Well, actually, as I've mentioned briefly, a couple of things here. I've met some investors over here that I want to work with that are some big players. Now, Monaco is the playground for the rich and famous. It's an absolutely stunning place here. It's absolutely it's on a whole nother level in terms of wealth here. 1 in 3 people here are millionaires, multimillionaires. The apartments, a studio apartment here at 45 square meters starts at about 2 million euros. It's very opulent. It's a very beautiful, beautiful place. And also it's a tax haven, which is why you've got lots of very ultra high net worth individuals here and lots of very wealthy and successful people here. So again, I'm in this situation now and I'll put my hands up here. I'm probably the dumbest and poorest person in this space, in this arena, but this is forcing me to level up and go to that next level. And also I'm making some really nice connections here whilst having a great trip, okay? And I want to kind of give this and finish this video on a couple of points here, which is the environment that you're in has an impact on you. So it's called environmental hypnosis. So of course I've got an office in Mayfair. That's where I work out of Monday to Friday, but I live in a little sleepy village. It's a pretty village in Kent, but when I'm there, what happens is that environment hypnotizes us, and that's what we get to see, okay? So when you take yourself out of places that are not in alignment with where you're going, the village I live in is a nice village, but it's not a village that is like wealthy or opulent. When I go into Mayfair, you see a lot of wealth around you. When I'm in Monaco, there's a lot of wealth around here as well. And this is one of the things that happens is these things will have a hypnotic effect on you, okay? So if all you're seeing day in, day out is this is nothing wrong with this, guys, there's no criticism here. If all you're seeing day in, day out is the sort of everyday kind of life, then that's what you're going to kind of get to expect. That becomes the bar for you. If you want to raise the bar, then you need to be in environments that are going to be supporting you as to where you want to go. So guys, it's just important that you get yourself into these places, you get yourself into places that are going to be aspirational for you, and also where those kind of people that you want to be in your peer group are. So in essence, what I'm saying here is just be very careful of the environment that you're in, because that will have an impact on you on a subconscious level. And it will sometimes it can either raise your standards by being in the right place, and can also lower your standards by being in the wrong place that isn't aligned with where you're going to go. So guys, I'm going to wrap this video up because it's been a super long one, okay? So look, take everything that you have learned in this video. I hope you've made some notes. Take this stuff, go raise your game, go out, network, go out, come up, glow up and blow up, okay? Because this is the time right now. I think there's amazing opportunities out there. If you like this video, you've got any questions, put your comments and questions below, like and subscribe. Also, you can go and watch our M&A masterclass. If you click below this video, there'll be a link. You can go and watch that masterclass, and there'll be an opportunity for you to book a call with me or one of my team. And at the end of that call, if you're a good fit, I think we've got about 5 places left for our mastermind right now. You can come and join our mastermind. If not, we'll point you in the right direction. Remember, we've got a Facebook group, again, link below. And also we have our top tier 1% newsletter. So look, guys, if everything I've given you in this video here, this will help you to take yourself to that next level and become a top tier 1% entrepreneur. So go out, put it into practice. Let me know how you get on by putting your questions and your feedback in the comments section. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care. Bye for now.